Hello there. Are you having challenges with elevated blood sugar? You know you need to get that down because you don't want to be diagnosed with diabetes. Diabetes, you know, is associated with cardiovascular disease, increased risk of heart attacks. If people you have problems with peripheral circulation, they can lose their legs. They have problems with increased risk of strokes. So you go to the health food store or even your local grocery store and you start buying low carbohydrate, low sugar, or no sugar, sugar free snacks. And you think you're doing the best thing for your health. Well, hang on to your hats. This is Dr. Hamilton Stubbs, and you're at Dr. Hamilton Stubbs Sleep and Total Wellness Institute YouTube channel. Today, I want to tell you about this edition of Nourish Dreams. We're going to be talking about sugar alcohol, in particular, erythritol. This is a sugar alcohol that is found in so many of our foods. You can find it in almost any kind of processed food or beverages that are advertised as no sugar or sugar free or even keto. But do you really want to be eating this? So let's take a closer look. This sugar alcohol is just one of many, but this is the one that has come out with some problems that could be detrimental to your health. It can actually cause the very thing that you are trying to prevent: heart attacks and strokes. So, what are sugar substitutes? They are products that are used in foods and beverages that taste like sugar, or they add some sweetness but without the calories. In particular, erythritol is found in our foods. It occurs naturally in things like pears, melons, apples, grapes, mushrooms. And so it's thought that, hey, this must be healthy, it must be safe because it occurs in foods. But what researchers found is that it may not be healthy for us if we eat a certain amount, large amounts. And with it being in so many processed foods and beverages, it's possible that we may be eating more than we realize. So, why is it even used? Well, food manufacturers are using this as a sweetener to make their products with lower calories. America has an epidemic of obesity. Now, I'm not trying to fat shame or body shame. I'm just stating the facts. As a community, a population of people, we are becoming very heavy. And this is why we have new specialties like bariatric medicine and obesity medicine and medications like Ozempic, because there's a growing need for this. And we realize that while you may not have any immediate signs of illness, over time, carrying large amounts of weight can be detrimental to your body, because the fat that accumulates around your waist is actually an inflammatory organ, and it's sending out inflammation or proteins that are associated with inflammation. And we know that inflammation is the cornerstone of the chronic diseases of aging. Things like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis, strokes, kidney failure. So we don't want to add to that. So we have been trying to cut back on sugar as a society. Now, the FDA considers erythritol to be, in general, healthy for people or safe for people to eat. But they've found that there are a group of people, people who have problems with heart disease or diabetes, may have a little bit of reason to be cautious in using this sugar substitute. So let's see what it's been associated with. Blood clots. Wow, this is scary because researchers believe that it can enhance the activity of platelets. And we know this is not good because we had something similar happening with during the pandemic. A lot of people were developing blood clots. So this is what happens when the platelets become overactive. You get a risk of forming blood clots, which is also called thrombosis. But it also impacts our gut health. It's thought that this sugar is not absorbed in the small intestines. It's not broken down in the small intestines, and it's not absorbed along the gut wall. So it goes into the large colon, or it's excreted through the urine. When it goes into the colon, it exposes the microbiome to these sugar alcohols. And these sugar alcohols are thought to suppress the growth of our beneficial bacteria and increase the growth of things that are harmful, the pathogenic bacteria. And it's also been linked to an increased risk of heart attacks. Now, there's not a lot of research. These things have to be repeated, and more research has to be done to confirm that, yes, this is something we need to be cautious about. But right now, the needle is pointing toward we need more research. And yes, we need to keep our eye on this. So in Nature Medicine, the researchers published an article that linked erythritol to an increased risk of heart attacks. And according to Dr. Hazen, the director of the Center for Cardiovascular Diseases, the Cardiovascular Diagnostics and Prevention at the Cleveland Clinic Lerner Research Institute, they studied 4,000 cases, and they found that the people who had a high level of erythritol in their blood were more likely to have a heart attack within the next 3 years compared to people who did not have a high level. So how much of this can you take? Eat safely. Well, the United States doesn't have a recommended maximum dose or minimum dose of safety. It's known that if you eat a large amount, you can get some problems like GI upset, diarrhea, headaches. And it's thought that you can also have the problems of stroke and cardiac disease or heart attacks if you're eating a large amount. So in European countries, they have identified a low dose as 10 to 15 milligrams. Let's see here. I'm sorry, 10 to 15 grams in a day. Now, in my bottle of kombucha, it has 9 grams. So I'm in the same situation with this sugar alcohol as I was when I was just drinking my regular kombucha, because in the regular kombucha, it had 24 grams of sugar. And the American Heart Association has identified that if you eat more than 25 grams of sugar a day, you increase your risk for heart attacks. So now I'm looking at the label on my healthy kombucha, which is low sugar. It has only 5 grams of sugar and 4 grams of added sugar, but 9 grams of erythritol, which puts me right at the limit of 10, which some countries have identified as a low dose. So if I had this and something else like my protein powder, which also has erythritol in it, then I may be getting more than I realize. And then as the day goes on, I'm sure I'm going to eat other things. So when I look at my protein, it has 5 grams per serving. So together I've gotten 14 grams of erythritol, and I haven't even gotten to my lunch. If this is interesting to you and you want to learn more about added sugars, then I invite you to join us for the No Added Sugar Adventure. We're going to be starting this in February, and it goes for 40 days. I'd like you to go to the website. I'll put the link below. Check it out and see if this is something that you'd like to join. so that you can learn more about sugar, added sugar, and how to curb your cravings. I'm Dr. Hamilton Stubbs, and this has been a talk with the Dr. Hamilton Stubbs Sleep and Total Wellness Institute on erythritol, sugar alcohol. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you will. And don't forget, if I've said something that you like, that you're interested in, or that you know someone who needs this information, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to share. I'll see you next time.